Hey everyone, it's Scott at the X-Fed Homestead. Well, I got a bit of a situation I've had to fix, and it's been happening for quite a long time. And a couple of my birds, some of my chickens, have been eating their own eggs, and that's kind of a common problem, and there are a lot of different things people will tell you can do to fix that. And one of those things that I tried to do is to separate them from the rest of the flock, and I ended up with 3 chickens that I thought were being naughty, as the kids used to say when they were little, and I put them in a separate chicken tractor all winter long. And while they were in the chicken tractor, they stopped eating their own eggs, and eventually I put them back with the rest of the flock. They became recidivists, like people who commit crimes and then they go to jail, they do their time, and then they go back to their old ways. Well, that's exactly what happened with these chickens. They went back to their old ways and started eating their eggs. So I only have 7 chickens, and this whole scenario started when the price of eggs went through the roof. And so I didn't want to get rid of any of my chickens. I was thinking about putting them in the soup pot, but I had decided I wanted the eggs more and that I'd have to work with them. And so I decided one of the things that I could do, besides separating them and some other things that I might have tried, I was going to change their nest boxes. And for that reason, I was going to modify the nest boxes so that they would become rollaway nest boxes. Now, I've traditionally had the typical nest boxes here. I built 6 of them into the side of the chicken coop, and because my flock's not that big, 10 or a dozen at a time usually, I only really needed 3 nest boxes. So I would come in here, open up the door, and you could see generally the nest boxes that I had were filled with pine shavings. And so what I want to do now is change that so that, and retrofit those nest boxes so that they are rollaway nest boxes. The chicken will lay its egg, and then the egg will roll into a safe area where the chickens can't get at them. And so that's the plan. And let me see if I can kind of fast forward into how I'm going to build those nest boxes, and I'll show you that. I just made a bit of a temporary workbench right here, and I got some of the parts I'm working on. So if you can see here, I have a board, and this will essentially be the part that rolls away. So this will be at an angle so that the egg can roll down it. And I'll put this rug that I'm cutting up, I've had around the garage, and I thought I'd repurpose it. I'll put that on it to be the nesting material, and I'll have a bumper at the bottom, so when I actually install it, the egg will roll downhill and then go against a bumper, which will be hidden. There'll be a wall that allows the egg to roll under it, but doesn't allow the chicken to go after the egg. And that's the plan. So let me just cut this piece of rug, and we'll try to put it together. There, I gotta let the tool do the work instead of trying to muscle it. There we go. And you know, I'm going to make it a little bit longer to make that bumper. I don't know the exact measurements, but like Grandpa used to say, not building a church. Which meant let's get it done rather than take our time making it perfect. So now I've got 2 pieces. So let's go see if we can fit those in the box. So here's the first piece of plywood. Now that sets right into place. And here is the bumper for it in the back. What I'm calling the bumper is the piece that the egg will roll down and smack into it. Now I made this a little long so that I could trim it off. You can see this little piece is angled over. And I'm gonna take a test egg and see if that works. That one just stuck just a little, but with just a little bit of movement, it started rolling. So I'm thinking as the chicken gets up, then once she moves, then the egg will start to move. So I'm thinking right now that's a pretty good angle. So what I want to do next is block the chicken from accessing the egg once it comes back and hits the bumper. And to do that, I'm thinking of just putting a little piece of wood in there that will allow me to reach my hand in here, and if I can mount that to the side and give enough room for an egg or two, and then that will allow plenty of room for the chicken to nest in front and allow the egg to roll back. That's the plan. Now, as you might see from here, I decided to do all 3 boxes with the rollaway nesting. Just couldn't leave one not looking like the rest, apparently. And I learned a few things along the way, and again, like Grandpa used to say, nothing's plumb or square when you need it to be. So I had to custom make all of these items for each particular nesting box. And you can see here, I started working on them. They're inclined. I have a 1/2 inch piece of plywood under each of them in the front, which inclines it to the back. And then each of these I've made so that they just fit in here. And you can see they've got little brackets on them so the screws can go into the side over here. And what I want to do is give myself about 4 inches. So since this distance right here is a little over 1 inch, I'll have this come back to a 5-inch mark. That is about where they're going to go. So if you can see from another angle, if you come into the box and I go on the front with an egg, see that egg roll right in there? So that egg should be away from the chickens. So I'm going to see if this spacing works. That gives about 11.5 inches in front for the chicken to sit. And we'll see if that's close enough for the chickens. So I'm going to work on all of these and put these partitions in place and try to get these all set up so that I can start these chickens. They're in there. They're a little agitated. I can start these chickens off with this nesting box tonight. And you can see I've got some rollaway eggs in here that roll back. They were the messy ones from this morning. Let's see if I can. I don't know. Oh, there they come. All right, so I've got 3 of these boxes done. This one here in the center, I'm experimenting. I gave this a little less room here, a little more room in the nesting area. So we'll see what that does. So those partitions are in. I'll go around into the door and into the coop. And that's the old board that used to cover this up. I'm going to reuse that. And here's what it looks like on the inside. Now, hard to get the angle figured out, but there's a little bit of an angle that drops off towards the rear. I can take these spacers out now. I don't need those anymore. That'll stay up by itself. And you can see in this one, I put some eggs in there to test it out. And it seemed like it did all right. Now see if I can get them to use it in the morning, and we'll see what the results are. Look what I found when I came in this morning. The Rollaway looked as it's designed to look, but there's the guilty party right there. Look at that, going after that egg yolk. So I've got to lower this. I've got to lower this partition because it's too high. Darn it. Okay, so we know it rolls away, but we know they can get under there. Let's go see who this is. Oh. All right, everybody. Let's go see who the guilty parties are. You. Let me see your leg. Here. Come here. Oh. White leg band, and they have the yellow leg band. Okay, they're the birds. Yep, they're favoring the right-hand box, and there were 3 nice eggs rolled in there. There's our misshapen one. Here, I'll grab a little. Put them in. And, oh, this one looks like it has a peck in it. Looks like somebody tried to get at it. Now, I think, if I'm recalling correctly, this one was a little closer to the partition. And that's where that bird pecked underneath it before, so looks like they couldn't get at it. So I'm gonna chalk that up as a win. I've had a few broken eggs since I filmed this episode, but not so much that it would make me do anything different right now. I'll be replacing this flock and rotating through with a new flock of egg layers in the upcoming weeks. I hope you enjoyed this project video. Please feel free to like and subscribe. This is Scott, signing off for the XFed Homestead. We'll see you next time.